Today, I embark upon a new adventure to know and recount my personal experience of some of St. Lucia. I invite you to accompany me. In the background, we can see Castries, the capital city of St. Lucia, with a population of approximately 20,000. We're departing its shores on a tour by catamaran to the old Fort Rodney fort, which is located on a 44-acre islet to the north of St. Lucia. I have landed here on the Caribbean island of St. Lucia by sea, as did the early inhabitants, namely the peaceful Arawaks and the Kalinago Caribs. However, what is very different is that my canoe is a huge cruise ship fully equipped with navigational instruments and driven by huge propellers, while those Amerindians back in those days had used paddles and canoes crossing from South America, most possibly from where Venezuela and Colombia are today. I cannot say for sure if they knew what were their final destinations, but they could have been found in almost all the major islands of the Caribbean prior to the arrival of Columbus. It was called Luanola by the Arawaks, meaning land of the iguanas, and then subsequently Hewanoja by the Caribs. The present name is derived from Sante Alusi, said to have been first given by French seamen who were shipwrecked on the island in 1502, and Santa Lucia, given by the Spanish explorers later in 1511. In 1650, the French purchased the island and settled there in 1651. But this island would have changed hands from the British to the French many times before eventually it became independent. The climb is a steep and tedious one to the very top of Pigeon Island, or Pigeon Point as some locals call it. Fort Rodney sits at the top at some 225 feet above sea level and was built between the years 1779 to 1782 by Admiral George Rodney. From Signal Hill, which sits right across from Fort Rodney, the British were able to observe the French at Fort Royal in Martinique, which could be seen some 25 miles away. Rodney had sailed out to confront the French fleet and defeated them in the Battle of the Saints many years ago. Originally it was fortified with 26 cannons, but these were sold off in 1861. During the Second World War, the US had built a naval air station here and it played an important part in communication back then. Having had a satisfied visit to Fort Rodney, we depart Pigeon Island, and we can see it right up there in the hill. We are heading now towards the Pitons. We can see the peaks in the distance, crossing these blue waters, rich in sea life. The Pitons are two mountainous volcanic plugs rising to a height of 798 meters. That's the gross Piton, and the Petit Piton is 743 meters. They are a World Heritage Site and they are located near the town of Soufriere. There we can see them like huge fingers pointing up to the skies. We made a quick stop over here at the bay with a small beach. Took advantage of the cool, fresh, clear waters of St. Lucia, and we are approached by one of the locals who is there to sell his craft, and I had a quick chat with him. Creole is more French. It's more French than English, right?
Yeah, more.
And that you speak widely.
Yeah, it's our national language. But we speak two. We speak English.
That's the official language. Ah.
But do you understand French?
Yes.
Comment allez-vous? Before embarking once again on our catamaran through Castries. St. Lucia is a typical windward island formation of volcanic rock that came into existence long after much of the region had already been formed. We continue onwards along the coastline before finally sailing into Marigot Bay. Here we can witness the tranquility of the waters, the landscape, and the houses dotting the hillside. It's a beautiful Caribbean sight. Enjoyed a wonderful day here in St. Lucia, and with the wonderful music in the background.